Well, howdy everybody. Morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever it is when you're watching this. Um, we're doing some paint today, and I kind of wanted to just show these nailer staplers off. We got a Metabo HBT NP50A. This is a 2-inch pin nailer, and it actually has 2-inch pin nails in it. Monsters. And an N3804A5 18 gauge crown stapler, narrow crown. I think that's 1/4 inch. There's these in it. And the reason I mention this is because we kind of specialize in being able to provide niche products for various customers, and this is a drop-in trim assembly for a window company, window installation and remodeling company, and it's got to be painted satin white. And I've kind of been experimenting. The way I did it the first time was I just painted the trim and then I put together the drop-in. This time I'm going to do it the other way because I'm thinking it might turn out better. It'll probably be more of a pain to spray, but it might turn out better. So anyways, I got to get this cut and then put together, and I'll show you how I do that. Now, I don't really technically need to do this, but you know, a real finished carpenter could probably do all this in his head, but I'm not a finished carpenter. So the window size here we're working with is a 24 by 29. I'm not really sure whether this is the top or this is the top. It doesn't really matter as far as we're concerned. But the box is pretty easy. It's just 24 by 29 on the outside. So this side, if we take our tape measure here and run it along our bottom edge, you see we get 29. But what this does is I like to measure my miters from the outside corner. So that gives us 27 3/4 for our short side and 32 3/4 for our long side. So we need 2 at 32 3/4 and 2 at the other one. And then the sill is going to be 24 by 29 on the outside. So let's go over the miter saw. Alright, so most of this is going to end up being a time lapse, but I've got tape measure. I got a Swanson just came out with this a little while ago, a couple months ago. It's the little trim square, speed square. I've been using that, love that. Mechanical pencil. And then this piece. Now, I do have 2 other miter saws. They're both exact cut shadow line. They're Metabo HBT, but they're not sliding miters. And I guess those technically would be suited for this as well. But seeing as how those are review saws, demo saws, and I paid money for this, I want to, you know, I paid a good amount of money for this thing. It's their top line miter saw, so I want to get my money's worth out of it. So this is a Metabo HBT C12 RSH2 with an S in parentheses. Real catchy name, I know. And we're running a thin kerf ultimate cutoff, I believe. Yep, to 96 tooth. And a laser. So, here we go. So the way we do this, I'm using a combination of glue, staples, and pen nails, depending on what I'm doing. I use the biggest square I got, which is this Swanson Big 12. My brain just stopped working there. For the sill and the joints between the casing, I'm using Tight Bond Speed Set because it's a thinner glue and I don't want any seams. And for attaching the casing to the sill, I'm using this Quick and Tick. And that's just to make sure I've got a good bond between the casing and the sill, because we don't want the assembly coming apart as it ages. So another important thing, always want to verify your depth when you're, come on, focus, when you're about to do something. This is just scraps and no glue, just 5 million staples. You also want to make sure you've got enough air pressure to avoid chipping the ends. Air pressure directly correlates to how quickly the staple or the nail goes into the wood. And the quicker it goes in, the less chance you have of breaking things. So we want to combine a short with a long. These have a rounded edge. You want to make sure those are on the same side. And I wish I had a big granite table here, but I don't. So we're using that matches up really nicely. So I'm only going to do one side. This glue's been sitting a bit, so I'll make sure I shake it up. So this has a 15-minute work time, I believe. Just dumping glue on the table, that's nice. About a work time, but that's actually a little bit too much. And if you hear chickens, I apologize. I need a cloth, that's too much. You don't need a ton of glue to make this work. Just enough to make sure that it's stable and that you're not just relying on mechanical fasteners to make it work. A lot of times this glue is so quick you can just feel it tack up. Check square. Alright. There we go. There's that. I did get a little chip here at the edge because I got too close to the edge. But it's not severe enough to have to fix, I don't think. So we got a long and a short. I'm going to grab the long and attach it to the short here. sure you verify every single time you get the rounded edge right where it's supposed to go. Yep. So this time we're going to put on the correct amount of glue. Actually, before I do that, I'll change camera angle so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. These usually go together pretty quickly. I'm just a little slow because I haven't done one in a while. And I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch of dry area on this inside joint here. That way I don't have to take care of any squeeze up. If we get squeeze up on the outside, that's okay. Nobody's ever going to see it. Always keep your fingers clear. So if that staple or that nail comes out, it doesn't go into you. I can't tell you how many dumb accidents there have been. People just don't remember that this is dangerous. Beautiful. Oh, I love the A5 nail guns, staple guns, whatever. Now we go ahead and flip this over. And if we've done our job, this should be pretty close already. Oh yeah. So basically we build like a little box frame here. And it just kind of works out. Don't need a lot of glue, that's all I'm putting on. Actually, I want to put a little bit more on. Not much. That's all I'm putting on. You gotta kind of work a little quick here with this stuff. Because like I said, it does set pretty quick. Make sure your rounded edge is on top, like all the other ones. Don't worry about the other end, just go for it. And time to be a lefty for 3 seconds. Sorry about the bad camera view. Was that it? No, that was just recoil. Pushed my square out of the way. Yeah, it was just recoil. I thought the staple maybe poked through, but no, it was just the recoil. Beautiful. Now we can just wipe the excess away. This is probably one of the nicest ones I've done, which is pretty good considering I haven't done them in a while. Yeah, I'm going to take the camera off the tripod real quick and just show you guys how this turned out. This is a pretty good one if I do say so myself. You can see this glue is already dry. It ain't even been 5 minutes. That small little seam there will get covered up with paint because I want to say it's latex. No, it's an acrylic urethane. That's right. That's the one that got messed up. But I may or may not fix that. I'll have to look at it. I'll flip it over. No fancy joinery or nothing. Just glue and staples, a little bit of patience. That's all you need. And I'm going to let this sit for about 15 minutes, let that glue set. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to put the casing together in the same way. So I'll do that off camera just because it's quicker. Actually, I'm going to be using the pin nailer, but I digress. Alright, I got the casing nailed and glued together. We got a little bit of gappage here we got to fill, but that's no big deal. And when I lift this up and put it on the sill, it's going to make sense what you're looking at here. We got our sill. Push this out of the way a little bit. Should be about 1/8 of an inch. The sill should poke up about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. We did our measurements correctly, which it was the computers that did the measurement, so. So this is going to get glued and nailed together. I'm going to put a small bit of quick and thick underneath this though, that way it's not just pin nails holding it in. And I did change the pin nails to the 1 3/8 as opposed to the 2" because this sill is only 1 3/4 thick. And the thin part of this casing here is I think a little over 1/2 inch. I don't know, I've never measured it. Is that? Oh, it's glue. Alright, so we're going to lay a thin bead around the sill here. And then put this casing back on, and then we'll nail it. So I'm going to set this where it won't get hurt. Let me grab. Make sure this is clean, doesn't have anything on it. Just because I know I'll probably need them. Grab our casing. Oop, accidentally touched the glue. You never want to rush something like this. Once you nail it in place, it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, that's looking pretty good. We're going to do opposite corners first and then follow it out. If I can avoid moving the... Of course, I just moved it. Maybe I gotta wiggle it a little bit. Alright, now we just follow it out. Make any corrections you need to make. Alright, I do one every 5 or 6 inches, usually. I do love these nail guns. I never get to use them that often. We're going to be doing some more cabinetry here in the future. Hopefully that'll give me an excuse. Alright, beautiful. Before that glue dries, I want to get all the squeeze out I can. Alright, while that dries, going to start working on these small gaps here with some white DAP. I love this stuff. Actually, I might use the water-based stuff. I don't know yet. I think the water-based stuff takes 2 to 6 hours. And I would like to get this sprayed tonight. Oh, let me look at it. Two to 6 hours. I'll give it a try. I need a new rag though. This has got glue on it. So. At any rate, yeah, I think I'll just fill these off camera. It's not really an interesting process. You just push what you can in the seam here, and then wipe off the excess with rag. Let it dry, prime it, paint it. Well, this has been sanded already, so yeah. Let me think here. I can't think of what I was trying to remember. Anyways, thanks for watching. The reason I haven't really been posting lately is because ever since I moved to mainly being a molding business, you know, there's only so many angles you can get a one machine running. And most of what I do is stuff like this is white casing. Definitely going to be changing that up here in the next month or so, hopefully. We can start doing some other stuff. But yeah, there's more on the way. And I hope you enjoy it.